देखो, जैसे लास्ट टाइम मैंने बताया था कि आर्थराइटिस शब्द का अर्थ इतना ही होता है कि जोड़ों के अंदर जो इन्फ्लेमेशन हो जाती है उसकी वजह से जो दर्द होता है उसे आर्थराइटिस कहते हैं। आर्थराइटिस तो 100 से ज्यादा बीमारियों में पाया जाता है, जैसे ओस्टियो आर्थराइटिस, रूमेटाइड आर्थराइटिस आपने कहा, ऐसे गाउटी आर्थराइटिस है, कोलाइटिक आर्थराइटिस है, सोराइटिक आर्थराइटिस है, इन्फेक्टिव आर्थराइटिस है, ट्यूबरकुलर आर्थराइटिस है, लूपस में भी आर्थराइटिस देखने में मिलता है। सो बहुत सारी बीमारियां होती हैं, तो जो रोग का कारण होता है उस हिसाब से उसका नामकरण किया होता है। तो रोमेटाइड आर्थराइटिस बेसिकली एक ऑटो इम्यून डिजीज है। मैंने लास्ट टाइम बताया था कि जब हमारे बॉडी में जो हमारे वाइट सेल्स होते हैं ब्लड में, वो अगर एंटीबॉडीज बना दे बॉडी की जो जॉइंट्स के अंदर की सिनोवियल मेम्ब्रेन के अगेंस्ट, तो ऑटो इम्यून डिजीज डेवलप हो जाता है, तो उसको रोमेटाइड आर्थराइटिस कहते हैं। रोमेट जो आपने कहा कि लोगों को कैसे पता लगता है, मैंने क्लियर किया था कि रोमेटाइड आर्थराइटिस में कार्डिनल सिम्टम होता है मॉर्निंग स्टिफनेस ग्रेटर देन 1 आवर ड्यूरेशन। जब पेशेंट रोमेटाइड आर्थराइटिस के पेशेंट जब सुबह उठते हैं, उनको बहुत जबरदस्त अकड़ाहट होती है। वो आके हमें कहते हैं कि जब हम सुबह उठते हैं हमारी मुट्ठियां बंद नहीं होती, हमारी बॉडी ऐसे अकड़ जाती है जैसे कोई लकड़ी का फटा अकड़ गया हो, ऐसे हो। तो वो लोग अकड़ाहट महसूस करते हैं। लेकिन रोमेटाइड आर्थराइटिस एक ऑटो इम्यून डिजीज है, लेकिन ओस्टियोआर्थराइटिस एक अलग बीमारी है जो कि डीजनरेटिव जॉइंट डिसऑर्डर होता है। मैं आपको ओस्टियोआर्थराइटिस के बारे में डिटेल में बताता हूँ। मैं प्रेजेंटेशन आप ऑन करिए।
यस सर। यस सर।
हाँ, तो इसमें इसको थोड़ा बड़ा किया जा सकता है।
स्लाइड्स
ये स्लाइड्स ना आए तो इसको फुल स्क्रीन कर देते हैं।
स्लाइड्स ओनली बड़ी चाहिए या फिर स्क्रीन?
नहीं, स्क्रीन बड़ी चाहिए, स्लाइड की जरूरत नहीं है।
ओके, आई थिंक ये इतना ही होता है, स्लाइड्स ही बड़ी रहेंगे।
चलिए मैं स्लाइड से बताता हूँ। सो ओस्टियोआर्थराइटिस जो हमारी आज की प्रेजेंटेशन है, तो इसमें अगर हम देखें, osteoarthritis predominantly degenerative disease. That involves peripheral joints in which there is a damage to cartilage as well as overgrowth of the bone. So this is a normal joint. If you look at this picture, you can see there is a degeneration of the cartilage and there is an overgrowth of the bony spur. So this is common in osteoarthritis. So osteoarthritis usually occur in people over the age of 60 years. So osteoarthritis most often occur at the end of fingers, thumbs, neck, shoulder, lower back, knees, and hips. And usually women are more prone to osteoarthritis than men. If we look at the causes of osteoarthritis, because it's a degenerative disease, so aging is the most common cause. It is usually seen at the age of 60 or above 60, but in some patients osteoarthritis is also seen below the age of 50, and sometimes there are other causes which are responsible for osteoarthritis. That may include some metabolic diseases, like if the person is having diabetes mellitus, or patient is having hypothyroidism, or patient is having gout, hyperuricemia. Those are the conditions which also leads to early onset of osteoarthritis. And if we see the gender, women are more prone to osteoarthritis obesity is also one of the cause, and if there is a history of any previous injury, that is also responsible for development of osteoarthritis. And genetic component is always there. If parents are suffering from osteoarthritis, then it can lead to children also. So there are some factors which cannot be avoided, like we cannot change the family history. Increasing age we cannot avoid, being female we cannot avoid, but we can avoid uh, overuse of joints, we can avoid joint injury, we can avoid overweight, we can avoid muscle weakness. That is in our hand. So how we diagnose osteoarthritis, this is very important. When patients come to our clinic, we generally first we take the history. In history, major complaint of the patient is pain in the joint, particularly pain in the weight bearing joints. For example, knee. Knee is the most affected joint, which is usually affected by osteoarthritis. So pain and swelling over the knee is the most common complaint of the patient. Patient generally complain when they climb the chair, when they climb the stairs, or when they come out from the car, they feel pain and stiffness. And generally in osteoarthritis, stiffness is seen only for 10 to 15 minutes or maximum to 30 minutes. But in rheumatoid arthritis, stiffness is the major symptom. Stiffness can be seen over 1 hour in rheumatoid arthritis. So this is the basic difference. So swelling and tenderness is also seen on knee, and there is, when we examine the knee joint of the person, we can listen the crackling sound, some grinding sounds on the movement of the joint. So these crackling sounds, these sounds occur generally due to loss of synovial fluid in the joint because of the degeneration in the joint. And to confirm the osteoarthritis, generally X-ray is the best investigation. If you look at this picture, in X-ray we see the joint space, and in osteoarthritis the joint space is completely lost because of the gravity. The body comes down, and then the space between the two bones, femur and tibia, that is reduced. And we also, for diagnosis, we also recommend some blood tests like hemoglobin, ESR, RA factor, uric acid, blood sugar, T3, T4, TSH, to rule out other causes. As I mentioned, sometimes there are other diseases, underlying diseases, which are responsible for osteoarthritis. So, to rule out hypothyroidism, we generally recommend T3, T4, TSH, and to rule out blood sugar, we recommend fasting blood sugar or HB1AC, and to rule out gout, we send the sample of the blood to the laboratory for uric acid or urates, and we also check rheumatoid arthritis, RA factor or anti-CCP or ANA antibodies to rule out rheumatoid arthritis, because rheumatoid arthritis finally ends up into degenerative disorder. I mentioned in my last lecture that in rheumatoid arthritis, disease ends up into deformities. So deformities is part of degeneration. So basically, osteoarthritis is a degenerative joint disorder. Degeneration occur in the body, and it degenerate the cartilage between the cartilage in the joints. Uh, Now we you can grade it, like whether the osteoarthritis is grade 1, if there is a mild degeneration in the cartilage but space is not reduced, we can say it is grade 1. But if degeneration of the cartilage is there, you can see the crack, and there is a space reduction, it is grade 2. when the space reduction and there is a degeneration, moderate degeneration, it is grade 3. And in grade 4, you can see there is a complete degeneration of the cartilage and space is reduced, and there is a development of osteophytes seen on the bone. So it is grade 4. So this is how grading is done, and there is a VAS score for the gradation of osteoarthritis. We can also grade it like if the pain in the history, if patient complain pain, like if the pain is mild, we can score it 2 to 3. If the pain is intense, we can score it 8 to 9. And similarly, the swelling, if the swelling is mild, it can be scored as 1. And if the swelling is severe, then it can be scored as 3. Similarly, tenderness. Tenderness means when we press the joint, if there is a pain, and so it can be mild, moderate, severe. And restriction of movement, if the movements are restricted 50%, then score is 3. And similarly, stiffness, if it is the morning stiffness is 5 to 10 minutes, it is score is 1. But if the stiffness is around 30 minutes and severe stiffness is complained in the knee joint in osteoarthritis, then we give it score of 3. So this is how the gradation is done, how we grade whether it is mild or moderate or severe disease. And as far as the allopathic treatment is concerned, so today I will talk about Ayurvedic view, but let me first explain what is osteoarthritis in modern medicine. So in allopathic, the treatment of osteoarthritis is they give painkillers or NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs to control pain, and they also give opiates, tramadol, etc. And some doctors give topical ointments to relieve the pain. And sometimes intra-articular corticosteroids are also injected in some patient to relieve pain. Their focus is to relieve pain. And nowadays, some people are giving glucosamine and chondroitin along with NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, and some exercises and some occupational or physical therapy is also recommended.
ओके सर, तो अभी हमने ये मॉडर्न साइंस का व्यू इसमें देखा। आयुर्वेदिक व्यू के हिसाब से ऑस्टियोआर्थराइटिस को कैसे देखा जाए? और एक क्वेश्चन था कि आपने इंडिया में भी प्रैक्टिस की है और आपने कनाडा में भी प्रैक्टिस की है, तो आपको कनाडा में ऑस्टियोआर्थराइटिस के पेशेंट्स आपको बहुत ज्यादा देखने को मिलते हैं क्या?
यस, कनाडा में तो यहाँ पर एज्ड पॉपुलेशन बहुत बढ़ रही है। यहाँ पर ओवर 60 पॉपुलेशन इज वेरी हाई, अराउंड 30 to 40% पीपल आर ओवर 60 years. तो osteoarthritis is very common in Canada, but rheumatoid arthritis is very less as compared to osteoarthritis. और कनाडा में यहाँ पर हेल्थ इज टोटली फ्री और बहुत सारे लोग 60 के बाद ऑपरेशन करवाते हैं. एज आई मेंशन in allopathic side, in allopathic side, they generally do total knee replacement. This is the only treatment in allopathy. But if we look at the Ayurveda, I will let you know the treatment, how we treat people with Ayurvedic medicines.
Yes, sir. आयुर्वेदिक व्यू से ऑस्टियोआर्थराइटिस को कैसे देखा जाएगा?
यस, सबसे पहले तो why people choose Ayurvedic treatment? Why do patients want to turn to Ayurvedic treatment of osteoarthritis? They are not satisfied with the results of allopathic drugs, because in allopathy generally they recommend only painkillers or they recommend knee transplantation. And knee transplantation again is not hazard free. There, if it is, it can even cause lot of side effects. We had example of our previous Prime Minister Bajpayee ji. He was operated for osteoarthritis, and ultimately, unfortunately, he went on wheelchair after the operation. People know about it in India. And so
Yes, sir, definitely.
knee replacement is not a final solution. So, and allopathic medicines, they cause lot of side effects. People are aware of it. You can't give a painkiller for long duration because it affects kidneys and liver and other organs also. So these are the reasons why the people are looking for some Ayurvedic treatment. So let me now explain. In Ayurveda, we correlate osteoarthritis with Sandhigat Vat. Sandhi means joint, Vata means, I explained in my last lecture about the Vat dosha. And so there are three dosha, there are
Ayurveda is or
in
related
Ayurveda,
with dosha.
yeah. So dosha is very important to understand Ayurveda. Basically, doshas are three bioenergies. These are not substances. These bioenergies, like electricity is energy, we can feel the energy. Similarly, in the universe, there are three types of energies. The same energies are present in our human body. These three energies were identified by our ancestors, by our researchers of Ayurveda long back, around 5,000 years ago. They identified. So these three energies are responsible for all the physiological and pathological processes within the body. When these energies are imbalanced, they cause disease in the body. So basically, there are five elements: air, ether, earth, water, fire. So I explained it in my last lecture. When two elements collide together, they form an energy. There, if we want to see the example, we can see the hurricane. Hurricane is the energy which you can feel, and uh, if you look at the composition of hurricane, it's a combination of air and space, and all the movements in the body are caused by a energy. It is called Vat dosh. Dosh, why it is dosh? Because if it is increased or decreased in the body, if this energy is increased in the body or decreased in the body, it can lead to disease. And similarly, Pitta dosh, if you look at the composition of steam, steam is a combination of fire and water. So steam is so powerful energy, we can see, we can run steam engines with it. So it's an energy. So this is a pit. And similarly, if you look at the Kapha dosh, it's a constructive energy. It's a composition of water and earth. When you can see, when we construct a wall, and this water and earth, when if you don't mix soil with the water, then energy is not formed. So this energy is a constructive energy. And today I will let you know the properties of these three energies. Vata is usually dry, light, cold, rough, subtle, mobile, and clear. Pitta is oily, sharp, hot, light, mobile, liquid, and Kapha is heavy, slow or dull, cool, oily, smooth, soft, dense, stable. So these are the properties mentioned in our text. So this is the shloka from Ashtanga Hridaya.
तो ये
So,
तो ये
जी
जो दोष है उनके गुणों से काम करते हैं.
जी, ये दोषों के जो गुण होते हैं, ये
हाँ,
दोषों के गुण, ये आप याद रखिए अभी कि जो
हाँ,
वात दोष है उसमें ड्राइनेस इज ए क्वालिटी ऑफ वाता दोषा, and similarly cold and rough, these are qualities of Vata dosha. Please remember, because these, when I will explain osteoarthritis, these things will again reflect. So when these doshas are imbalanced, when these three energies are imbalanced in the body, they lead to any disease. In Ayurveda, there are around 80 Vata disorders. And there are, when Vata is increased in the body, it leads to Vata disorder. And when Pitta is increased, it leads to Pitta disorder. And when Kapha is increased, it leads to Kapha disorders. In Ayurveda, 80 Vata disorders, 40 Pitta disorders, and 20 Kapha disorders are explained in our text. Now, look at the Vata disorder. Vata disorder, as I mentioned, there's a quality of Vata is dry, cold, rough. And now, when Vata is increased in the body, it leads to dryness of skin, dryness of hair, ear, lips, joints. This all is due to Vata. When Vata energy is increased in your body, and when Vata energy is increased internally, it can lead to symptom of gas, constipation, dehydration, weight loss, degeneration. Please remember, degeneration is a very, very important quality of increased Vata in our body. Whenever Vata is increased in the body, it can lead to degenerative disorders. In modern medicine, if you will ask any doctor why my joints are degenerating, they will just simply say, oh, it is due to age. But we can see there are people after even age of 80 or 90, they don't have any problem of osteoarthritis. So aging is not responsible. It is the Vata which is responsible. This is the major difference between allopathic and Ayurvedic approach. Now, look at the Vata. Vata, even increased Vata, even can affect your mind. It can lead to restlessness. It can lead to restlessness, dizziness. Even cold is a also quality of Vata. Poor circulation, muscle spasm, asthma, pain and aches, tightness. These are all are symptoms of Vata, increased Vata in the body. Roughness, especially when skin becomes rough, lips become rough. These are symptoms of Vata, increased Vata or Vata aggravation. Whenever Vata energy is increased in our body, it can lead to even excessive movements, tremors, particularly in Parkinson's, we can see tremors. These are Vata disorders. Involuntary movements, twitching, muscle twitching, palpitation. These all are signs of increased Vata in our body. So, now look at the symptoms of, symptoms of Sandhigat Vata or osteoarthritis. As I mentioned, osteoarthritis can be easily correlated with Sandhigat Vata mentioned in our text. Sandhigat Vata is described in Ayurvedic text. The major symptom of Sandhigat Vata is Sandhi Shut, which is pain, and Sandhi Shot, which is swelling. It's the same which is mentioned in modern medicine. Then Akunchan Prasan, which is pain on flexion and extension. Then Hanti Sandhi Ghat, diminution of movement at joints. So these are the symptoms which are described in our text of Sandhigat Vata. if you look at the causes of Sandhigat Vat or the etiological factors in Ayurveda, diet is very important, which has been mentioned in all the texts. We call it Aharaj Hetu, Aharjanya Hetu. So if we take excessive dry food in our diet, excessive food items, dry items, or cold items in our food, or very less food if we take, or very light food we take, or if we don't take food, it can lead to degeneration. So osteoarthritis or Sandhigat Vat primarily is a degenerative disorder. We need to know which are the factors which are responsible for degeneration. In Ayurveda text, they mention, first of all, the food is responsible for degeneration. Dry food like ड्राई चने, बहुत सारे लोग आजकल सैलेड पे बहुत एम्फेसाइज कर रहे हैं कि हमें सैलेड खाना चाहिए, ड्राई चीजें, घी नहीं खाना चाहिए. तो यहाँ मैं एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात बता रहा हूँ कि अगर आप ड्राई चीजें ज्यादा खाते हैं तो बॉडी में वात दोष यानी बायो एनर्जी बढ़ जाती है, विच कैन लीड टू डिजेनरेशन. सो जिन लोगों को ऑस्टियोआर्थराइटिस है, अगर वो ज्यादा सैलेड खाते हैं या ज्यादा ड्राइड चीजें खाते हैं, वो कई बार वात दोष उनमें बढ़ जाता है. अगर उनको सैलेड लेना है तो उसमें ऑयल ड्रेसिंग करके सैलेड लिया जा सकता है. सिमिलरली विहार means lifestyle. So no sleep or sleep during day, excess ati vivai, excess sexual activity, or stopping natural urges, excess walk, excess exercises, excess swimming, and even the psychological factors, excess anxiety, excess grief, excess anger, excess fear, they can also lead to degeneration. And there are some prolonged diseases can also lead to degeneration in the body. So these are the factors which are responsible. Now, as far as the treatment of, if we see the pathogenesis, this generally is important for the Ayurvedic students who are also today in the viewers list.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So pathology is already there. It's a Nidan Sevan, which leads to Vat, Sanche, Prakop, Prasar, Sathan Sanshray. These are technical. So Ayurvedic pathology. And now if we look at the treatment, as in my last lecture also I mentioned that Ayurvedic treatment is composed of generally 4 parts. First is Sanshodhan, Sanshaman, Ahar, and Vihar. So detoxification of the body, natural Ayurvedic medicines, then the dietary regimen, and then the lifestyle regimen. These are the 4 components of Ayurvedic treatment.
यस सर. सर मुझे यहाँ पे एक पूछना था कि ये आयुर्वेदिक ट्रीटमेंट्स क्या कनाडा में लोग पंचकर्म वगैरह करते हैं?
पंचकर्मा वेस्ट में जो एक्चुअल पंचकर्मा है वो नहीं करते हैं, वो यहाँ पर अलाउड नहीं है. कुछ इस तरह के रेगुलेशंस हैं क्योंकि इन्वेजिव थेरेपी जो नेचुरल मेडिसिन के डॉक्टर्स हैं वो नहीं कर सकते, जो नेचुरल मेडिसिन प्रैक्टिशनर्स हैं. पर्टिकुलरली मैं एक और जानकारी दे दूं, कनाडा में आयुर्वेदिक डॉक्टर्स जो हैं, इंडिया में तो डॉक्टर अपने आप को लिख सकते हैं, कनाडा में आयुर्वेदिक डॉक्टर्स कैन नॉट राइट themselves डॉक्टर्स. यहाँ सिर्फ जो रॉयल फिजिशियन ऑफ कॉलेज है उसके मेंबर्स ही अपने आप को डॉक्टर्स लिख सकते हैं जो हेल्थ केयर में प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, या नेचुरोपैथी जो डॉक्टर्स हैं वो भी लिख सकते हैं. बट आयुर्वेदिक डॉक्टर्स अपने आप को वैद्य लिखते हैं। तो कनाडा में जो एक्चुअल पंचकर्म है वो नहीं होता, बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली बहुत सारे लोग वेस्ट में पंचकर्मा के अपनी वेबसाइट्स बना के बैठे हैं और बहुत सारे बोर्ड लगा के बैठे हैं, पंचकर्मा ट्रीटमेंट इज डन हियर। वो सिर्फ स्नेहन संवेदन करते हैं, पेशेंट को ऑयल मसाज दिया और पेशेंट को स्टीम दी, कहते हैं पंचकर्मा हो गया। जबकि पंचकर्मा, एक्चुअल पंचकर्मा जो होता है वो वमन है, जिसको हम थेरेपेटिक वॉमिटिंग कहते हैं। देन विरेचन है, जिसको थेरेपेटिक प्रगेशन कहते हैं। देन निरूहन वस्ती, एनीमा विद डिकॉक्शन। देन इसके बाद एनीमा विद ऑयल स्थापन, एंड देन नस्य कर्म। तो ये पंचकर्म जो है, ये पंचकर्म नहीं करवाए जाते यहाँ पर। यहाँ जनरली लोग ऑयल मसाज और स्टीम दे करके पेशेंट्स को भेज देते हैं, वो एक्चुअल पंचकर्मा नहीं है। बट इंडिया में पंचकर्मा होता है। मैं उसको भी बताता हूँ कि ओस्टियोआर्थराइटिस में जो रिसर्च हो चुकी है पंचकर्मा पे, उस पर थोड़ी सी मैं जानकारी दूंगा। बट मैं आई वांट टू क्लियर कि गोल ऑफ आयुर्वेदिक ट्रीटमेंट एंड रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस ट्रीटमेंट का जो रहता है हमारा, वो यही रहता है कि हम पेशेंट के सिम्टम को रिड्यूस करें, लॉन्ग टर्म रिमिशन में लेके आए, उनकी डिसेबिलिटी ना हो। बट इसमें जो ये देखिए संशोधन कर्म जो है, इसमें डिटॉक्सिफिकेशन ऑफ द बॉडी जो है, इसमें फर्स्ट पार्ट इज अभ्यंग, दैट मीन्स मालिश करना, ऑयल मसाज। तो महानारायण तेल या नारायण तेल की मालिश घुटनों पे की जाती है या पूरी बॉडी पे भी कर सकते हैं। इट हेल्प्स इन रिजुवेनेशन। उसके बाद आप स्वेदन कर सकते हैं, जिसको हर्बल सोना बोलते हैं। देन निरूहन वस्ती, डिकॉक्शन का अनीमा, जो जनरली इंडिया में बहुत सारे वैद्य लोग जो हैं वो दशमूल क्वाथ का अनीमा देते हैं ओस्टियोआर्थराइटिस के पेशेंट्स को। देन ऑयल का अनीमा, मात्रा वस्ती 40 ml नारायण तेल का या महानारायण तेल का अनीमा दिया जाता है। एक लोकल ट्रीटमेंट ये यहाँ पर कनाडा में काफी लोग करते हैं, तो इसको जानू वस्ती बोलते हैं। A well is made by dough from black lentil flour, is placed around the knee and filled with any of the following oil: सहचर तेल या विषगर्भ तेल, निर्गुंडी तेल, महानारायण तेल या धर्मांतर तेल। आधा घंटा तेल इसमें रखा जाता है। इट गिव्स न्यूट्रिशन टू द जॉइंट। ये काफी कॉमन है वेस्ट में। और जो संशमन चिकित्सा है, संशमन चिकित्सा में आयुर्वेदिक टेक्स्ट में जो दवाइयां ज्यादा रिकमेंड की गई हैं, उसमें अश्वगंधा चूर्ण जो है, अश्वगंधा इज ए वेरी पोटेंट रिजुवेनेटिंग हर्ब। सो प्राइमरीली ओस्टियोआर्थराइटिस का जो ट्रीटमेंट है, इसमें हमें रिजुवेनेटिंग हर्ब्स देनी होती है। सो रिजुवेनेशन का काम, जिसको हम रसायन औषधियां कहते हैं, तो आयुर्वेद में हम लोग रसायन औषधियां हर्बल मेडिसिन में भी यूज करते हैं, और कुछ मेटालिक प्रेपरेशंस भी रसायन औषधियों के तौर पे यूज होती हैं। बट रसायन औषधियां जो मेटालिक हैं वो कनाडा, अमेरिका और यूके या आउट ऑफ इंडिया यूज नहीं होती हैं। यहाँ पर कनाडा, अमेरिका में तो हम अश्वगंधा चूर्ण 3 से 5 ग्राम ट्वाइस डेली, पिपला मूल चूर्ण 500 मिलीग्राम ट्वाइस डेली, या फिर योगराज गूगल 4 गोली दिन में 3 बार खाना खाने के बाद। ये बहुत अच्छी मेडिसिन है रिजुविनेशन के लिए। फिर दशमूला रेस्ट 20 ml ट्वाइस ए डे विद इक्वल वाटर, या फिर गिलोय घनबटी, गिलोय जिसको टीनोस्पोरा कॉर्डिफोलिया कहते हैं, ये भी बहुत पोटेंट रिजुविनेटिंग हर्ब है। इसको तो आजकल नेशनल हर्ब ऑफ इंडिया भी कहा जाता है कि ये देश की एक नेशनल जड़ी बूटी है।
यस सर।
तो अब जहां तक ओस्टियोआर्थराइटिस में रिसर्च की बात है, So there are various research papers nowadays available on many search engines, PubMed and many other engines. So there is one paper I'm giving reference, reduced synovial inflammation and inhibition of matrix metalloproteinases, anti-osteoarthritis activity of polyherbal medicine. इसमें इन लोगों ने अश्वगंधा रेस्ट, बला रेस्ट, दशमूला रेस्ट और त्रिफला एक्सट्रैक्ट को यूज किया एंड दे फाउंड इट इज वेरी इफेक्टिव इन ameliorating the symptoms of osteoarthritis. And similarly, another research paper is available, reliability of Ayurvedic diagnosis for knee osteoarthritis patients. This paper is also available on the net, and this is very interesting research paper, chondroprotective potential of root extract of Vidania somnifera in osteoarthritis. As I mentioned, Vidania somnifera, which is ashwagandha, has been explained in Ayurvedic text 5,000 years ago for the use of this herb in Sandhivat or osteoarthritis. And the new research has shown that it is very good medicine as a chondroprotective. It protects the cartilage. It does not allow the cartilage to degenerate. So this is very effective medicine, and there is evidence that it is effective. And similarly, in Sri Lanka, let me tell you, the viewers, in Sri Lanka, Ayurveda is also recognized as a statutory or government recognized medical system. So it is practiced in, there are degrees of Ayurveda in Sri Lanka as well. So there is a paper available on PubMed, Effect of Sri Lankan Traditional Medicine and Ayurveda on Sandhigat Vat, and they used Shalaki, which is Boswellia serrata, and they used Ambelica officinalis, Amla, which is also rejuvenating, Tinospora cordifolia, Giloy, and Terminalia cebula, which is Haritki. So they use the extract of these herbs for the patients of knee osteoarthritis, and they found it very effective. So in other research, they found curcumin is also very effective for reducing the symptoms of osteoarthritis. This research paper, Curcuma longa, which is called haldi or which is called turmeric, Curcuma longa extract reduces inflammatory and oxidative stress biomarkers in osteoarthritis. This was a double-blind trial. It was done, and this research paper is available on internet, and they found it that in osteoarthritis of knee, this Curcuma longa extract is very effective, and it suppresses inflammation and brings clinical improvement in patients of knee osteoarthritis. So this is the evidence, because today people are talking about where are the evidence that Ayurvedic herbs are effective. They are asking where are the evidence that Ayurvedic formulations mentioned in text, they are effective. Let me tell you, Ayurveda was documented 5,000 years ago. So document can be generated only when there is evidence. But today people are searching, they are demanding evidence in the light of modern medicine. So nowadays, thousands of research papers are available on internet, on PubMed and other search engines, where you can see these medicines are really effective.
Yes, sir, definitely.
And in Another paper, you can see there is a research paper available, clinical evaluation of Vatari Google, Maharasnadi Kavat, and Narayan Tail in the management of osteoarthritis of knee. And this combination we are using in our clinic. It is very effective. In our Delhi clinic, even we use these type of medicines, and we found these medicines are very effective, and we can prevent operation, and people don't need to go for a knee replacement, because knee replacement not hazard free. The example of Prime Minister Vajpayee is already there in India. People know after operation, Vajpayee ji went on wheelchair. So we can't say operation is the only remedy, or the knee transplant is the only remedy. There are herbs which are rejuvenating herbs, and if you can just control your diet, control your change your lifestyles, and you can use certain medicines which don't have any side effect, like Vatari Google, Maharasnadi Kvat, Narayan Tail. They are very effective, and you can easily prevent osteoarthritis.
Okay, sir.
And there are certain diets which are available on the internet. And in our one lecture, I will mention about how to select diet. Diet has to be selected on the basis of constitution. That in one lecture I'll explain. So whosoever are the viewers, they should continue viewing our lecture. And I want
Sir, favorite part of patient, क्या खाऊं?
Yes, उसके लिए वात इसके लिए एक तो बहुत इजी है कि आप आजकल इंटरनेट पे जाइए, गूगल बाबा जो हैं वो बहुत ज्यादा इंफॉर्मेशन देते हैं. तो गूगल पे जाके टाइप करिए वाता डाइट. You will find there are many thousand websites which has explained what to eat, what not to eat, what are recommended, what are not recommended, which diet increase vata in our body. All lentils, they are vata, they increase vata in our body. So leafy vegetables, they increase vata in our body. And cold drinks, ice cream, they increase vata in our body. So once, as I mentioned, vata is increased, it can lead to degenerative disorders. Degeneration can be in any organ. It can be even in brain, can be even in joints, degeneration can be of the bones. Osteoporosis is also a degeneration. Then nowadays we can see there are atrophy in brain, there are even the atrophy of muscles. These all are degenerative disorders. According to Ayurveda, increased vata energy is responsible for the degeneration. It's not the age. In modern medicine, they just tell people, "Or you are aging." It's not that. It is a degeneration. It's a metabolic process which leads to degeneration, and degeneration is caused by increased vata energy in our body, which is further caused by erratic lifestyles and erratic diets. Erratic means if you are not eating according to your constitution of the body. And exercises are very important for osteoarthritis. You can easily find on YouTube. There are various exercises. The people who are suffering from osteoarthritis of knee or osteoarthritis of backbone or hip, there are various exercises which are very helpful. Yoga is also very helpful. We will do one complete episode on yoga. I will try to explain. And in my last lecture also, I gave some tips that it's not yoga that you are just breathing from one nose and exhaling from other and you are saying, "I've done pranayam." It's not sufficient. Yoga is a complete process. There are 8 steps. Yam, niyam, asan. Asan is 3rd step. Then pranayam is 4th. pratyahar, control of sense organ, is fifth. Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. So these are the 8 steps. I'll explain it in one of the lecture about yoga also. And there are some home remedies which are available in the kitchen. Ginger. Ginger, if you look at, our viewers can find ginger is very effective anti-inflammatory home remedy for osteoarthritis. And there is a research paper, effect of ginger extract on knee pain in patients of osteoarthritis. You can find it on the net. And garlic is also very useful for osteoarthritis. This research paper, Dietary Garlic and Hip Osteoarthritis, Evidence of Protective Effect and Putative Mechanism of Action. This is available on net. Then turmeric. Turmeric is also very effective for, there is a chemical called curcumin. Curcuminoids are also available in curcumin. They are very effective for reducing inflammation in osteoarthritis. And this red pepper is also very effective. So these are ingredients which are available in the kitchen of every home in India. And nowadays, these ingredients are also popular in West. Many communities are now using these ingredients, but the knowledge is coming from Ayurveda text only. So to conclude, Ayurveda advocates proper use of diet and regulation of lifestyle from very early life. If followed as per instructions, various Ayurvedic measures can prevent osteoarthritis in primordial and primary stages, and progress of the disease to later stages can be stopped. So this is all about osteoarthritis and Ayurvedic view of osteoarthritis. I have explained as mentioned in Ayurveda text. So in next lecture, we will explain Ayurvedic view of gout. Gout is another arthritis which is caused by increased uric acid in the body. When we consume proteins, when proteins are consumed in the body, when they are absorbed, they give energy to our body, and the ash or the end product of the protein is uric acid, which is excreted through the urine, and which is excreted by the kidneys through the urine. But if the uric acid is not excreted, or if it is formed too much in the blood, then the crystals of uric acid, they are deposited in any joint, which can lead to pain. That kind of pain, that kind of arthritis is different from osteoarthritis or rheumatoid arthritis. That is called gout. So in my next lecture on 11th of October, Sunday, at the same time, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. in India, I'll explain about gout. So don't miss this lecture. So we have started the series of Ayurvedic lectures, and I'll continue it. But next Sunday, I'll be busy in International Ayurveda lecture series. So I'll meet you on 11th of October at the same time. Thank you very much.
सर, ये मिलने की बात हुई है, तो आपका इंडिया में भी एक क्लिनिक है दिल्ली में, सुश्रुत आयुर्वेद क्लिनिक, तो आप वहां के भी हेड हो, तो रहते आप कनाडा में हो, तो इंडिया में कैसे आप पेशेंट्स को देखते हो?
देखो, जो सुश्रुत आयुर्वेदिक थेरेपी सेंटर हमारा दिल्ली में है, वहाँ हमारे 2 डॉक्टर्स हैं, डॉक्टर दीपा हैं और डॉक्टर अनुराधा है। दोनों सीनियर डॉक्टर्स हैं, वो पेशेंट्स देखती हैं, और मेरे साथ पेशेंट्स को जो हम ऑनलाइन आजकल जूम पे पेशेंट्स, स्काइप पे या जूम पे पेशेंट्स को अटेंड करते हैं, वो पेशेंट्स का सारा एग्जामिनेशन करके मुझे बताते हैं, उसकी पेशेंट की सारी हिस्ट्री, उनकी इन्वेस्टिगेशंस। तो आजकल जो टेली कंसल्टेशन है वो तो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने भी अलाउ कर दी है। सो मैं 2 डॉक्टर्स की हेल्प लेता हूँ दिल्ली क्लिनिक से टू डायग्नोज, फिर उसकी सारी रिकमेंडेशन जूम पे कंसल्टेशन करके हम अपने डॉक्टर्स को बताते हैं, वो फिर आगे पेशेंट्स को दवाई रिकमेंड करते हैं और अपने क्लिनिक से दवाई देते भी हैं।
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर। के सुश्रुता आयुर्वेदिक थेरेपी सेंटर के डिटेल्स स्लाइड पे दिख रहे हैं। वो मधुबन बिहाइंड निर्माण विहार दिल्ली में है। उनका फोन नंबर है 011220505006 और एक दूसरा नंबर भी है 9910672020। ओके सर, थैंक यू। और व्यूवर्स के कुछ क्वेश्चंस आए हैं तो एक जाते जाते 1-2 क्वेश्चन के आंसर आप दे दीजिए। दीपा जी पूछ रही है कि आर नी कैप्स एडवाइजेबल इन ऑस्टियोआर्थराइटिस पेशेंट? इफ यस, हाउ आर दे हेल्पफुल?
देखो, जो नी कैप होता है थोड़े समय के लिए तो ठीक रहता है। अगर ज्यादा समय के लिए हम नी कैप को यूज करेंगे तो उससे जो मसल वेस्टिंग शुरू हो जाती है। अगर एक्यूट पेन हो रही है 15-20 दिन, 1 महीना अगर नी कैप लेना है तो नी कैप में बेसिकली वो जो बॉडी का वेट होता है, जो नी कैप के दोनों तरफ जो बार्स लगी होती हैं वो उसको बियर कर लेती हैं, दे एक्ट लाइक पिलर्स। तो वो टेम्पररी हेल्प के लिए अच्छा है, लेकिन प्रॉन्ग यूज जो होता है नी कैप का वो नुकसानदायक होता है। प्रॉन्ग यूज नहीं करना चाहिए और नी एक्सरसाइजेज जो होती हैं वो ज्यादा हेल्पफुल होती हैं।
ओके सर। अनिरुद्ध सर जी है, उन्होंने पूछा है कि कैन संशमन चिकित्सा भी इक्वली इफेक्ट विदाउट संशोधन चिकित्सा, स्पेशली इन ओपीडी सेंटर्स?
संशमन चिकित्सा ठीक रहती है, बिल्कुल इसका इक्वल इफेक्ट है, लेकिन कई बार संशोधन चिकित्सा की जाती है, वो सारा कुछ पेशेंट टू पेशेंट वेरी करता है। कई लोगों में बहुत ज्यादा डिजनरेशन है, बहुत ज्यादा वात की वृद्धि है, और ये दोनों डिपेंड करते हैं। बट जो हम लोग कनाडा में करते हैं, हम लोग लोकल ऑयल मसाज और जो संशमन औषधियां होती हैं इन्हीं से काम लेते हैं और हमें बहुत अच्छे रिजल्ट मिल रहे हैं।
ओके सर। और एक आपके गुरप्रीत कौर का उन्होंने रिप्लाई दिया है कि थैंक यू सर फॉर योर ग्रेट एफर्ट्स एंड सेशन। ड्यू टू योर रेमेडीज माय मदर सफरिंग फ्रॉम रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस वेल नाउ एंड लिविंग हर लाइफ हैप्पीली। थैंक यू सो मच सर।
थैंक यू।
ओके, वंस अगेन थैंक यू का सेशन में थैंक यू फ्रॉम वेदायू। और फिर मिलते हैं 11 अक्टूबर विथ न्यू टॉपिक गाउटी आर्थराइटिस। जो कुछ भी क्वेश्चंस रहेंगे तो आप वेदायू ऑनलाइन पे भी आप बता सकते हैं, या फिर सर कोई भी हमें कांटेक्ट करेगा तो हम सर का नंबर और सर के डिटेल्स तो सुश्रुता आयुर्वेद के पास। तो थैंक यू वंस अगेन सर, एंड थैंक यू फॉर द लिसनर्स ऑल्सो फॉर सेशन। तो मिलते हैं 11 अक्टूबर को। थैंक यू।